Welcome bitches, one and all, to my reaction to Season 2, Episode 4 of Young Royals. Now, last time we ended on a couple of very interesting scenes. The first being that Felice and Wilhelm kissed, which, while not completely surprising, I was not a fan of. It felt very much like Wilhelm's in a very emotional state and latching on to, quite frankly, the only person that he is close to in this school. So I think that it was more so a confusion of emotions. Like, obviously, he has feelings for Felice, being that she's a really good friend. And I think he was just mixing up those emotions of feeling hurt by Simon, and it was just like, it was all bubbling over. And I think that that is what that was. I don't think it was a genuine, I love you, let's make out. You know what I mean? So I hope that they have a good, healthy conversation this episode. There are no hard feelings. They can still be good friends. But yeah, not a fan of that developing into an actual relationship. But now, moving on from there, the second most out of the blue thing to ever happen was that the Queen said to August that he is the backup plan for Wilhelm in line to the throne, which my brain completely forgot that they were even remotely related. Like, it was completely out of my head. So I was not expecting that one bit. I didn't know what was going to happen when she invited him, but it was certainly not that. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not completely opposed to the idea, simply because if August does take that position, it takes all of the stress away from Wilhelm and it actually gives him an out, because he doesn't currently want to be the crown prince. So it's not necessarily a negative. The only thing that's really holding me back from thinking that this is a huge positive thing is that it's kind of a scapegoat for August. It kind of negates any punishment and anything bad that he should experience from doing this. Like, don't get me wrong, he didn't go out and murder someone, but what he did was wrong, and he deserves to have some kind of punishment from that. And yes, he's going through a lot of anxiety and he's dealing with a lot of hatred from a lot of people right now, but it's not the same as getting your just punishment for what you did, and I don't think he's got that yet. So the idea of him doing that and hurting Wilhelm so much, and then him becoming the crown prince, which is something that it appears to be something that he's always wanted, like, do you know what I mean? It just kind of feels a bit shit. But we'll see. I'd much rather Wilhelm be happy and have August be happy as well than both of them be sad, you know? But yes. Anyway, with all that said, I'm done rambling. Very excited to get into it and see mostly where Wilhelm and Felice are at right now, where their minds are at. So yes, with that said, let's jump back into the world of Young Royals. Is he messaging Felice? Don't think they're... Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking hilarious when she was legging it out the room. Uh-oh, the rumor mill has begun. Stop being little bitches. Stop, like, staring at her and giggling. Ooh, that's beautiful. Oh god, that's so awkward. Oh, Nana. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Speaking of things I hate. My turn for what? Oh, my darling. What do you want me to say? My darling. It's best that you don't.
Jag och Stella typ hånglade på några fester och då helt plötsligt började någon så här rykte om att vi var typ öppna för det var typ du som tyckte det var jobbigt. Jag känner bara
Interesting.
Every girl makes out with her best friend while drunk. Jag har inte gjort det. Nej, men då är det fan på tiden. Felice bara hångla med folk från kungafamiljen.
Catch Sada and Felice in the closet.
Ja, men alltså det börjar med att alla killar skriver under hela veckan ett kärleksbrev till de tjejerna som de är intresserade av.
Ew. Oh my god, if I got a love letter from a guy while I was at school, I'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
Vadå? Vem ska du skicka till?
Oh. God, everything's so complicated. Simon and Felice can't talk about, like, stuff because of the Wilhelm thing. Sada can't talk to Felice about August. Don't tell me they're doing that fucking, like, information sharing thing. Oh my god, you made out with her. What happened? Tell us, girlie.
Om personen inte vill ställa sig upp frivilligt så har jag inget annat val. Ville på bordet.
Simon is literally at the table. He's literally at the table.
Lägg av! Lägg av! Vad är det här för sinnessjuk jävla tradition? Jag kan inte vara den enda som tycker det.
It is a stupid... Sorry, my thing wouldn't pause. It is a stupid tradition. It is. Like, are you all actual children? He literally had a whole, like, political... What do you call it? Like, problem around someone not respecting his privacy and recording him. So you're then just going to do it again. Like, go fuck yourself. Genuinely. Are your lives that boring that you have to bring it up in the room to everyone that someone kissed someone else? Oh my god, the scandal. Like, shut the fuck up. Grow up. It's just embarrassing at this point. Like, I get that they're talking about it as if it's like this game of like, oh, haha, who have you kissed? But like, at the end of the day, have some fucking respect. You all know that something went on between him and Simon. Like, it's obvious. There was a video of them in the act. Have some respect. He's at the table as well. People like this piss me off. Just like common human decency. Really? Do you really just want to make someone sad and upset for fun? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Det är ju det här jag menar. Ni har ingenting med det att göra.
Vi har ett ögonvittne.
A witness? Is there a fucking crime being committed?
Han var alltså inte på ditt rum igår. Såg dig och Felice ligga i sängen och hångla. Det är förtal alltså.
Fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. It just fucking sucks, honestly, because don't get me wrong, in the same way that Simon is allowed to venture out and be with Marcus if he wants to be, even though I don't agree with that, but even though I completely agree that they are allowed to do whatever they want and Willa has the absolute right to kiss Felice if he wants to, that still does not negate the pain of this situation, and I am completely with Simon for walking out of that room. Like, these people just do not give a shit about him at all. I'm not talking about Willa, I'm talking about the rest of them. Like, they genuinely do not give a flying fuck that this guy is very upset that his ex is getting with someone else. Like, I just have some respect. Genuinely. Just pisses me off, bro. I get that they're young, I really do, but especially these older boys, they are not young enough to be acting this way. Actually grow up, because it is embarrassing. Was that to Marcus? You know, rebound is a rebound for a reason.
Det kanske låter lite lame, men skolan har en stor bal.
En bal?
Mm?
Don't invite him.
Skulle du vilja följa med mig dit?
Oh no, I hate this. It's so like revengey.
Men vi kan väl vara hos mig istället? Kolla film eller något. Skippa balen.
Det går inte.
Vadå då?
Kören ska sjunga.
Du kan väl komma till mig efter det? Kanske.
I don't like that because like I know it's not that deep, don't get me wrong. It's not like last episode where I could like clearly see the manipulation. But I don't like that simply because like he's asked you to come to this event, something that he actually wanted to go to and he has to go to because he's performing and all that. And you've just immediately turned it down, which understandable. It's not for everyone. I wouldn't particularly want to go to a ball. But at the end of the day, like, if you want to hang out with him, hang out with him. Like, go to the fucking ball, you know? Make a little bit of a sacrifice to go and see the guy if you're actually that into him. And then don't, like, pressure him to go to yours afterwards and, like, why don't you come around mine instead? Like, don't push it on him. He invited you to go to a place. You said no. It's what it is.
Sisten upp på den skit.
Okay.
Push him over, Simon. Oh my darling, look at you. Keep the underwear on though. We don't be sending nudes, okay?
Har du pratat med din mamma förresten om Rousseau?
Jag hade haft annat att tänka på.
Men vadå? Det är väl bara att säga att du inte vill sälja till dem.
Men du vet ju hur hon kan vara ibland. Jag vill ta den när hon är på bra humör.
I feel like Rousseau is getting sold to them. I'm sorry, that is hilarious. Get your anger out, boys. Oh god. Oh god, this was out of nowhere. Now I feel uncomfy. I was laughing and now I feel uncomfy.
Det hade varit skönt med en heads up om Felice.
Simon, jag fattar att det känns jobbigt, men det är också lite dubbelmoral. Det är inte jag som har gått och skaffat en hemlig pojkvän. Du säger att det inte är någonting seriöst mellan er och sen så går du och kysser honom framför mig. Fan, tror du att det känns?
It fucking sucks. It's just that like both of the really painful moments for each of them have not been like they've not been intentional. Like the kiss between Marcus and Simon was not Simon going up to him and like giving him a kiss. Marcus kissed him. There's a difference. And yes, that would have really hurt Willa, but it wasn't his intention nor his fault. And then the same way at the lunch table, it's like it's not Willa's fault that they brought it up. You know, it would have fucking hurt. And if any of us was Simon right now, like we would be fucking hurt. But you're both kind of on the same playing field right now. It just sucks that the two moments that hurt them both the most were out of both of their control. The reason I'm not so caught up in this right now and really sad is because, like I said, I do still see them as endgame. I do still see the story going in the direction of them two getting back together. So even though they're going through a rocky moment right now, and it does fucking suck seeing them like this, I know that eventually they will find their way back to each other. They just need to figure out how to do it. They need to figure out how to be happy in that. Because I know that they can technically be together right now. It's just that Simon doesn't want to be in a secret relationship, which I do understand. So I just need them to have a nice, healthy conversation about boundaries and what their expectations are out of a relationship, and then I'll be happy. But yeah, that's why I'm not really like caught up in it right now, because even though it's sad to see, I personally do see them ending up together. So
Han står i alla fall för att han gillar mig. Han vill att jag ska träffa alla hans vänner och han gillar när jag sjunger.
Det gör väl jag också?
Han accepterar mig för den jag är.
Som att inte jag gör det, eller? Det är du som inte kan acceptera min position, vem fan jag är, min familj.
Nej, jag kanske inte kan det.
I know you're hurt right now, Simon. I really do, and I understand that, but that was uncalled for. That I don't agree with. I'm very much like, I always try and be the middleman, and I always try and understand that there's two sides to a story. And while I do understand that Simon is hurting right now, and that's probably where that came from, that was uncalled for. We know that Willa loves you deeply. Like, he adores your singing. He would be so down to hang out with you and your friends. But you have to remember that, yes, you may not want to be a secret and all that, but he's not asking you to be a secret because he's ashamed. He's not asking you to be a secret because he doesn't want the world to know he's gay. He wants you to be a secret because he's a prince, and people can be fucking vile when they know your private details. It's just a fucking shitty fact that you would have to be somewhat private about your relationship. But I don't necessarily see that as a negative, because like if you were fully public, I think the issue that I think we're having here is there's like a miscommunication between a private relationship and a secret relationship. Because I think a private relationship is one where people are aware that you're together, but you're not sharing anything about it. You're keeping all of that to yourselves. You're going on dates and not share it like in private, and the public doesn't know, but they know you're together. Whereas a secret relationship is that no one knows what's going on. No one knows that you're together. And I think that's the issue here. Simon does not want to be in a secret relationship, but they need to find a common ground when it comes to privacy. Like, be open that you're together. Don't hide from that. Don't, like, if a news report comes up to you and for some reason fucking stands there and asks if you're together, don't lie. Say, yeah, but I'm not talking about it like this is my private life, you know? I think they need to find that kind of common ground, because I don't necessarily see that as a really bad thing. Like, who the fuck wants the press all up in their business, you know? So keep your relationship private, but don't keep it a secret.
Hej.
I'm very intrigued to see what this conversation is going to be like.
Jag vet inte vad som hände.
Inte jag heller.
När jag såg Simon och Marcus efter tävlingen så kändes det så jävla verkligt liksom. Han går vidare på riktigt. Och nu sa han att...
You're in a very vulnerable place.
Alltså helt jävla ärligt. Alltså hela skolan snackar skit om mig. Säger att jag försöker gifta mig in i kungafamiljen. Och du gjorde det för att göra Simon svartsjuk.
Interesting.
Se om du kunde känna så som du gör med Simon.
Ja, för det gör ju saken så mycket bättre. Alltså jag var kär i dig så länge. Och du visste om det.
It does fucking suck, because like the part of me that's really defensive of Wilhelm is sitting here like, don't be so mean to him. He was in a vulnerable state and he wasn't thinking clearly. But then, like, the logical side of me is on Felice's side. Like, she was really in love with him last season. And I'm sure that some of that was still with her. So for him to come in and be like, yeah, I don't know, I was just seeing how it would be with someone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he approached that very well. But she's very valid in her feelings. But he was vulnerable. And he wasn't thinking clearly. So I'm not being too hard on him. But she is very valid in her feelings here, especially after the whole school is fucking gossiping about her and talking shit, you know? But I hope that by the end of this conversation, they can come to a healthy, like, midway point of understanding each other.
Jävligt keft av mig att göra så.
Ja.
Tycker så mycket om dig. Du har varit en väldigt, väldigt fin vän. Kan du förlåta mig?
Det var ju inte som att jag stoppade dig direkt. Jag tycker om dig också jättemycket. Som vän.
Okay, good.
En kram.
Well done. We love healthy communication. They made their thoughts clear. They explained how they felt in this situation. Neither of them, like, Felice didn't back down. It's not like she was like, yeah, okay, I forgive you. It was I need you to understand how this affected me and understand that it was wrong. And once he did and he asked for forgiveness, she gave it to him. Like, well done. Healthy communication. Love to see it.
Bara för att ni inte är tillsammans nu så betyder det inte att det är helt kört.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I'm feeling.
Jag tror att det gör det.
It's not like he's actually in love with Marcus, and Marcus ain't a great catch, so.
Jag orkar inte hoppas längre. Fan, det gör så ont.
It will,
Det
my
känns som att jag ska
boy.
dö.
No, you'll find your way.
Måste släppa honom.
No.
Eriks enda seriösa flickvän, det var mammas kompis dotter. Det var inte så svårt för dem att hålla det low key. Det var liksom samma kretsar från början.
Men alltså, Wille, du tänker för mycket. Sluta krångla till det. Nej, men du ska möta Verbier. Alltså, vi har hus där. Åker vi skidor. Jag kan fixa lite bra fest. Vad gillar du för något? Twinks? Bears? Fan, vi gör det ju diskret. Du visste ju inte så att jag var gay.
Vet Vincent och August?
Jag vet inte. Och så här, säg en vd som är öppet homosexuell. Ingen. Jag tänker fan inte vara den första liksom.
That's a good thing, but reality is reality.
Trodde han på allvar att du skulle erkänna att det var du i den där videon?
Jag sa till honom att jag inte skulle göra uttalandet.
För han är det inget problem. Han är så här Simon, vem som helst. Men för dig skulle det bli du skulle bli en världsnyhet. Det är lite stor grej att be om av någon som man liksom dejtat i en månad.
This is a very interesting conversation. It does make you sit down and think of the intricacies of what it would mean. But I think that, as Willa just said, Simon's problem wasn't that he didn't just go out into the world and be like, no, it was us, I'm gay. That wasn't his problem. His problem was that he said he would make a statement and then he didn't. So he felt like he was just lied to his face by Willa, you know? So I do understand that, but like we were saying earlier, Simon has to understand that, like, secrecy and privacy are two different things. You can have a private relationship without it being a secret relationship. And I don't necessarily think that that is a bad thing, especially when you're dealing with the press who more often than not report on the negative things of your life. But then what this guy is saying about the fact that it would be world news that the Swedish prince is gay, I do get that. I understand that. And obviously, if he's going to be crown prince, that means that eventually he is going to be king, which once it comes out that, like, the king is with a guy, then that's a whole big thing. It's so complicated, and I wish it wasn't, but I think throwing in the it's a lot to ask for someone that you've only been dating for a month, I don't think that really applies in a situation like this, because it was released, that video was released by August. They had to do something. They had to come to some kind of conclusion. I think the best course of action would have been that Wilhelm's mum invites Simon to the palace and explains a few things, explains why they can't be so open about it in a, like, more warm way, to be like, look, it is what it is. Like, you want your privacy. I promise you, if you come out and say that it is you, your life will be hell, and explain all of that, rather than the stone cold, no, Willa, you say this, I'm not going to go talk to Simon, you tell him that he has to keep this private, he can't speak about it. Do you get what I mean? Like, it was not handled well. It was handled more like a business decision than a family decision, which I think is the problem. I think that it should have been a lot more human than just the queen delivering orders, you know? That's the issue that I had from the very beginning. So I don't necessarily think that it's an issue of like, that's a lot to expect out of someone when you've only been dating for a month, when they obviously deeply love each other and it was out of their control that this video was released. It's not like Simon just knocked on Willa's door one day and was like, look, you either come out that we're together or you leave. Like, that's not what happened. So I think it's a lot more complicated than they're behaving as though it is in this scene, but interesting things have been brought up.
Oh my. Oh. Yeah. Nice. I hope it's better than the one I got.
Okej,
Is she not getting one? Because we haven't really got any development for these two. They're just kind of there, you know?
ditt namn på min tunga når dig aldrig. Vid att älska dig, tystnaden mellan oss är jag van.
Wow.
Var inte det så fint?
Did she send that letter? Because they were speaking about kissing earlier. Oh, shit. It's like I'm happy for Sada, but I'm not happy for August. I just don't like that he's this happy while Willa is still struggling so much with the repercussions of what August did. Is it the palace?
Hej!
Oh my god. I did not need that.
Hovet kommer att skicka ett förslag på hur era kommande 10 år kommer att gestalta sig. Och
10 years?
röker ni, dricker ni, droger? Det är viktigt att ni är ärliga med mig nu.
Be honest about the drugs that you take.
August?
Nej, inget sånt.
August! Roski, you've got to be honest with these people.
Ni är väl heterosexuell?
Ja,
Okej.
bara tjejer.
I don't like that that was a question, but I understand that they're thinking about scandals and all that.
Okej, det här stannar mellan dig och mig. Jag är Wilhelms reserv. Så om han liksom inte klarar av ansvaret som kronprins så tar jag över. Blir Sveriges nästa kung.
Sada's like, oh. Interesting though that she knows as well now. Is she going to mention it to Simon and then he's going to mention it to Willa?
Men om vi går tillsammans så kommer ju alla fatta.
Vem bryr sig vad folk tycker?
I mean, when her best friend is Felice, it's going to be a bit awkward, isn't it, Broski?
Okej.
Interesting. We'll see how that develops.
Men är du och Willy ihop?
Va? Nej, verkligen inte. Alltså vi är bara vänner. Det verkar skitjobbigt att vara tillsammans med någon i kungafamiljen.
Oh, because it is very much, it's like a very, what am I trying to say? It all sounds good when like you just read it at the surface level. Like, oh my God, he might be crown prince. He might become king. Like, ah. But like when you actually start to think about the details, it would fucking suck. Like that is life changing. That dictates basically like if Sada and August stay together through all of this and he like ends up becoming king, that kind of dictates her entire life from this moment on. You know what I mean? Like I know they're still young, but you really need to think about this kind of stuff because it is a big decision.
Men vi tjejer måste hålla ihop. Alltså killar, de kommer och går.
Hopefully Sada agrees with that. It'll be really awkward if they get to the dance and she's like, August, ah. Wow. Oh, he's going full on makeup as well. Okay. Can I give you a hug? Oh, that's the hardest thing about watching this show is I just constantly want to give him a hug and you can't. Bro, I'm telling you, she sent that letter. She sent that letter. When are you coming? You're gonna have to figure it out now, Sada. I think it would be nice if she picked Felice for the simple reason that it would knock him off of his high horse, which I am not happy that he's on right now. I'm not coming. Okay, cool. Well done, Sada.
Mamá, ya te dije que no quiero ir. Yo voy a cantar a las 10.
Oh, God.
Jag trodde inte att gå på bal var din grej.
Vad som helst för dig.
Not gonna lie, if I was Simon, I would be pissed right now because I'd be like, bitch, I don't have time.
Jag visste inte att du hade husdjur. Vad heter de?
De har inga namn.
Interesting. Interesting. Bit of a flashback to season 1 there. We know there are names.
Jävlar Bella. Ja. Var det du som skrev dikten till Fredrika?
Yep.
Okej, alltså du får absolut inte säga det till någon.
Nej. Varför säger inte du någonting till henne?
Men för att vi har varit bästisar sedan mellanstadiet typ. Och hon är den viktigaste personen.
Yeah.
Tänk tänk om det tar slut.
Thing is with stuff like this, it's like I completely understand, and I feel like I would be doing the same thing. Like, I really like her, but then what about XYZ? But at the end of the day, like, just fucking do it. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, who really gives a shit? If you say to her how you feel, I would say be a bit more casual about it. Explain how you feel, but be a bit casual about it. Don't be like, I love you, be with me. You know what I mean? Because then, who knows, an amazing relationship might blossom out of that. But then, always remember that at the end of the day, you could quite easily have a very cordial breakup and still be good friends. Like, it doesn't mean that you have to break up and that be that. You know what I mean? It's just no point stressing about this kind of stuff. Just fucking do it and you might get something amazing out of it.
Skål.
I'm not excited for Willa to see Marcus.
Okay.
Simon, we can all clearly see this as a revenge dance.
Är det okej?
Det måste vara okej.
She's such a good friend, bro. Immediately noticed something was wrong and went and asked him about it. You know, like, what more can you ask for from a friend? Who has the ginger? Excuse me? I'm right here, bitch.
Sätta mig, jag blir fett vatten.
Nej, kom igen lite till.
Nej, men kör du.
Like, I do understand it. You have to remember, they're all young. And Simon thinks that Willa's just trying to, like, piss him off or something. So he thinks, like, oh, I'm gonna get back at him by shoving Marcus in his face, you know, which it fucking sucks. I don't like it, but we can all be petty, so I understand. But yeah, I think I don't think Willa has anything to worry about, only because the only reason that Simon invited Marcus to this dance was because of his feelings for Willa. The only reason that they are up there dancing right now is because of Willa. And the entire time that they were dancing, who was Simon looking at? Willa. So I don't think he's really got anything to worry about, but it still sucks.
Jag tänkte, du kan ju sova hos mig om du vill alltså.
Okej.
Okej?
He seemed really anxious there, like very jittery. I want to see where his head's at.
Är ni kompisar nu eller? Du och Ville?
Uh-oh, he's gonna tell him the truth.
Vet du, det var han som bestämde att du skulle ta skulden för drogerna. Vill väl skydda Simon. Kände att du var ett lätt offer.
Oh, August.
På vilka som är dina riktiga vänner. Okej?
Was that really necessary? You haven't changed at all. Like, I get the Willa fucked up, don't get me wrong, but that was all done with malicious intent.
Hej. Kronprinsen.
Du kan säga Ville, det är lugnt.
Interesting.
Hur går det på skjutbanan då?
Jo då, det funkar. Färre som skjuter på vintern.
Ja, sätter också hänga på. Det är inte min grej. Kan inte jag få en skit?
I have never been prouder of this boy. Holy shit. Holy shit. Like, do you understand the level of courage that takes to just go up to them and be like, you know what? Fuck this. I know how I feel. And unfortunately, we can't be together right now. And it sucks. But I'm not going to let that get to me. I am going to accept things for the way they are. And I'm going to be the bigger person. You know? Like, wow. I don't think I could do that. Honestly, if I was in his situation, I was at that party, I'd be feeling so shit. I'd probably go home. So to have the courage to just be like, fuck this. I'm just going to, like, basically bury the hatchet. Like, I love you, Willa. I have too many words for that scene. Well done, my boy. You did it, though. You did it. Even if it took every fucking ounce of courage you had, you did it.
Vad var det där? Jag försökte bara vara trevlig. Ja, jag fattar. Du är inte kär i mig längre. Jag ska lämna dig i fred.
Interesting. Go after him.
Tack.
Come Come on, fuck Marcus, Simon. Go after him. Come on. It's very interesting that Willa sees it that way, because we had a very similar scene either last episode or the episode before where he was saying that he doesn't understand how Simon could move on so quickly. And it's the same vibe here. He thinks that he has got this new boyfriend because he has fallen out of love with Willa, which isn't the case. I think we can all safely say that they are still very much in love with each other. And I just think that Willa, I was discussing it with someone in my Patreon comments, that it seems as though Willa gets very sort of, what do you call it? What is the word? He gets tunnel vision. That's the word. He gets tunnel vision, caught up in his own feelings and his own thoughts, thinking that this is how Simon is feeling, and he's not questioning it. He has accepted from the beginning that he no longer loves him. He's just trying to understand why he no longer loves him. He's not allowing himself to explore the idea that he might still love him. He's just trying to deal with those emotions in his own way. So that does really suck that Willa sees that as him being out of love with him, because, like, absolutely not. But also, to go back to that scene before, because I have so many thoughts on it. It was such a, like, incredible scene to witness. One, for Willa's growth, like, fucking proud of you, my boy. That took courage. But also, it was a really smart move. It kind of pushed past all of, like, the petty, childlike drama of trying to make each other jealous and just being like, look, I love you. You know I love you. I'm not gonna sit here and allow you to make me feel jealous and to make me feel shit by bringing this guy to the party. I'm just gonna go up to you, bury the hatchet. Everything's cool. Everything's good. And if you want to be with this guy, then you are absolutely right in being with this guy. But I'm not going to allow you being with him to hurt me anymore. And I think that that is just fucking incredible on Willa's part. Like, do not get me wrong. Simon is allowed to be with whoever the fuck he wants. It's his life to live. He can do what he wants. But it was still a bit of a shitty move bringing Marcus here to make Willa jealous and dancing in front of him to make him jealous. So good on Willa for sticking up for himself.
Vad?
Förlåt.
Jag vet inte, jag trodde att du gillade mig på riktigt. Liksom. Och det
Ja,
känns...
jag gör det. Felice får reda på det. Hon kommer hata mig. Och...
Jag såg ju hur det gick för Simon med Wilhelm, men jag kan inte tänka mig att det
Jag är inte Wilhelm, okej?
Very selfish of him to not understand where Sada stands with Felice. Like, that's her best friend. How do you not understand that it will be a problem? But okay.
Är du nervös?
Vad?
Uppträdandet.
Oh, Marcus, that is not what's on his mind. That is not what's on his mind, my boy.
Jag ska bara kolla en grej med kören.
Okej.
Go and speak to him, my boy. Please.
Har ni sett Simon?
I do feel a bit bad for Marcus, though. Like, this is really awkward. Here we go. Willa's like, fuck, 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 fuck.
Jag försöker bara...
I'm sorry. I do want to watch this. What is his name? Why can't I remember his name? The actor who plays Willa. I'm sorry. His name is skipping my mind. He's so fucking good. Like, you can read how Willa is feeling and what is going through his head just by his body language right here. Like, he feels really awkward. He feels like, oh my God, I didn't expect this. Like, why is he coming over? Like, you can literally see the cogs spinning in his head trying to churn up the reason as to why Simon is coming over to talk to him right now. Like, you can see the anxiety. I love it. It's like the awkward keep walking, but then like at a slower pace. Like, what do I do?
Jag försöker bara gå vidare. Jag märker det. Allt blir bara fel mellan oss. Jag vet.
Oh. Oh. Oh shit! Let's go! Let's go! Oh!
Simon! Simon!
Yeah, hi Marcus. Oh my boy. Can you see Willa? Oh God, that's so awkward. Oh, that's so awkward, bro. I hate that. I hate it. But, Yeah, so I like that, not only because obviously they still need to have a good conversation about boundaries. If they do get back together, which we still don't know, then they need to actually discuss how that will be, how that relationship will work. What is the difference between like actually keeping things a secret and keeping things private? Like, we need to have a good discussion about that before we actually move further. But this is a great start. And not only is it a great start, it's also really nice. This has kind of given Willa physical proof that he still loves him, because it can be very easy when you're going through anxiety and just having all of those negative thoughts. It's very easy to get lost in them, and to, no matter how much proof you get, like I'm talking like verbal proof, like someone telling you something is the way it is, no matter how many times you hear that, it's hard to believe it. So to have physical evidence when he comes over to you and kisses you, to have that physical evidence that he still loves you, nothing can dispute that. So let's fucking go. I was gonna say, is Marcus gonna realize that Simon is singing to Willa? Jesus Christ. Well done, my boy. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's like I don't even want to look. It's that awkward. Oh, that's the end, broski? That's the end? You're gonna leave me with that? Fuck you. Oh, fuck you. So yes, there we have season 2, episode 4 of Young Royals, and holy fuck, what an ending. Yeah, I'm actually really happy. I'm happy with that. Obviously, there's a lot of things we still need to discuss and a lot of things that still need to happen. I'm not taking this as a like full set in stone that they are going to be together now, because many things can happen. Many things can derail this good moment, but it is a good start. We have seen Wilhelm be the happiest that he's been in a while, and we've seen Simon replicate it, which it's always like, there's always a worry, and you always get a little bit like, scared that when a moment like this happens and you've got someone who is currently in a relationship, Simon might not feel the same way that Wilhelm does, and immediately after the kiss might regret it, and then Wilhelm stand there all happy and he's like sad and stressed and all that. But it was nice to see that he was happy as well, because that showed that even after that moment and with a bit of time passing, he still thought that that was a good thing to happen. So good progress, and it might lead to them getting back together, which I really fucking hope for. They do still need to have some good conversations about what their future might look like if they do get together. And I know it's hard to look ahead, and a lot of people don't like looking ahead. They like to just live in the moment. But when you're dealing with a situation like Willa's, where he's the crown prince of a nation, you kind of have to look ahead. So I do think that they need to have a good conversation about that and set some boundaries, understand like what it would mean to be together, you know? Now, moving on from them, what else happened this episode? I feel like I got so like caught up in that end scene that the rest of the episode's been deleted. Let's talk about Sada and August, because Sada's in a bit of a tough situation right now, because obviously Felice is not going to be pleased when she finds out that Sada and August are together. Not only because it's a bit of a friendship betrayal to get with her ex, but also Felice hates that man and she loves Sada. So there'll be a bit of a protection issue there as well, of wanting to keep her safe and away from a man that she literally hates. So yeah, fucking sucks. And I don't know what the course of action is out of that, because Sada wants to be with August. She likes him. So if she's truly serious about that and she wants to stay with him, then she's going to have to just fucking bite the bullet and tell her. Honestly, like, you can't keep it a secret forever. Like, you can't get like 20 years down the line, you're married and you still haven't told Felice that you are with him. You know what I mean? So I think she should just bite the bullet and tell her, but it's like either she bites the bullet and tells Felice, or she breaks up with August. You can't have both. You have to do one or the other. It's a hard one, because like, I like seeing Sada happy when she's with August, but I don't like seeing August this happy. I'm happy that he got knocked off of his high horse earlier. But you know what's so interesting? He got knocked off of his high horse by Sada, and then he immediately went and attacked Willa. Like, this man hasn't changed. I was hoping that he would change, and I'm all for giving people second chances, but you kind of just fucked it there, because yes, what Willa did to Alexander was fucked up. It was fucked up. He did it to save the person that he loved, but it was a bad thing to do. We can all recognize this. He is a very good man, and we all love Willa, but that was a bad thing to do. No one's perfect. And I'm all for telling the truth when it's like needed, but it wasn't needed there. It wasn't necessary. The only reason that August said that was to get back at Willa, was to have some element of power in the situation, because that power had just been stripped away by Sada. He thought that he was not necessarily controlling, but he had all of this plan to be with her, and things were looking up, and he was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to get this already. And the moment that she cancelled on him, he felt betrayed. He felt like his power had been taken away. So he went and got some more by telling Alexander the truth. Like, it just fucking sucks, bro. I don't like August. I was trying so hard to be nice to him. I was trying so hard to give him a second chance, but he's just fucked it there and then. Like, I know that's such a little thing that he just told Alexander that, but it's not. When you read into it, it's not. That it just literally goes right back to how he was in season 1, and the fact that he sent that video out of Willa to hurt him because he felt like his power was being taken away. It's the exact same situation. And it's just fucking stupid. I hate it. I hate him so much, but I really don't like him. I have decided I don't want him to be happy. I don't want him. It's like you're at like an issue here now, though, because like you don't want him to be happy, but he'll probably be happy being the crown prince. But then I also want Willa to be happy, and I don't know if Willa would be happy being the crown prince. So it's kind of like, I don't know what I really want out of this situation. So I'm kind of the middleman right now. I'll be happy with either way, because like if Willa stays the crown prince, I'll be happy that August didn't get what he wants, and maybe Willa and Simon could make that work. But then I'll also be happy if August gets the crown, because then Willa can be happy and live his life just for him, free from the crown, you know? But yeah, anyway, we'll see. But yes, anyway, with all that said, I believe I've covered everything I wanted to talk about, so let's move on to Patreon questions. But yes, anyway, moving on, what else happened in this episode? I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing a storyline that I haven't spoken about. Oh, the two girls. I'm going to look up their names quickly because I feel like I'm doing them a disservice by not knowing. Stella and Frederica. I know that that is 1000% not how to say it in a Swedish accent, but I don't know. Like, I haven't been paying attention enough to pick up on how they're saying it. So I apologize, but I'm just going to have to say them the English way right now. But yeah, Stella and Frederica. I think it's a really important storyline to show, because I think it's quite common among young people where you have an attraction to one of your friends and it's really awkward because you don't know what to do. You don't know whether you should say it to them because maybe they'll feel the same way. But then what if they don't? What if that ruins your friendship? But then even if you do get together, what would that mean in the future? What if you then broke up? I really need them in my life. So what if we break up and then we're not together anymore? Like, there are so many anxieties and worries associated with that. So I think it's a really important storyline to show. And I like that they're getting a storyline. I like that we're bringing this in, not only because it is a lesbian relationship and we haven't currently got that in the show, so it would be cool to explore that, but also just because it's nice to see more people's stories get explored, because you can get very lost in the main characters and you can get very lost in just sticking to them and not really focusing on the people around them. But I think it's very, very key to world building to explore other people. Like, we've got that guy who was talking to Willa earlier. One of the third years. I'm so bad with their names. I've only just realized this episode. I hardly know any of the, like, supporting characters' names, which is my bad. I need to learn that. But the guy who was talking to Willa outside, Nils, I just looked him up, Nils. When they were having that conversation, it's like, it's very similar because we've got a lot more backstory on him as well. I like that they're doing that. It really builds up the world, so you're not just looking at Simon and Willa and that's it, you know? So yeah, very excited to see what happens with that and whether they do explore it. I think that they should. Like, at the end of the day, I know they're young, so it'll be hard to see it this way, but at the end of the day, like, just fucking do it. Like, who gives a shit? Something magical could come out of it, and it's not, like, you don't necessarily have to have a bad breakup. It can not work, and you go back to being friends. Like, that can definitely, that's a big possibility. So there's no point worrying about all of the if, buts, and maybes. Just fucking do it. If you want to be with her, be with her. That's how I see it. But yes. Anyway, with all that said, that was another fantastic episode of Young Royals. I'm loving the way the season is going. I'm very aware that we are now 2/3 of the way through the season. Oh my God, I only have like an hour and a half of Young Royals left. I'm gonna fucking cry. But yes, anyway, with that said, that was another fantastic episode of Young Royals, and I'm excited to see where the penultimate finale and the finale go. But yes, for now, thank you very much for watching. I've left a link down below to my Patreon. We're able to find the early and uncut reactions to Young Royals and all the other shows that I do. I've also left a link to my Twitch, my Discord, and my socials, so be sure to follow them if you are interested. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.